Hello there, welcome to today's session. Today we are going to discuss about Nyaya school in Indian philosophical systems. So we had already discussed in the previous session of this module that Nyaya is believed to have been founded by Gautama. Nyaya school subscribes to atomistic pluralism and logical reasoning. Nyaya asserts that there is suffering in this universe. Okay, there is suffering, and it is just because the soul is in bondage because of its ignorance of reality. And there is a way using which you can escape from this suffering. So how can you escape from the suffering? So you can escape, or you can end this suffering by attaining liberation through knowledge. So, that much of importance is given to knowledge by the Nyaya school. And just because of that, Nyaya school asserts right kinds of reaching or, knowing exact knowledge. So, among the 6 pramanas or methods or ways of reaching valid knowledge, Nyaya school literally follows just 4. Okay, and they are perception, inference, comparison, and testimony. To top it all, Nyaya school believes that the entire universe is real, and they reduce it to 16 categories. Okay, and moreover, they believe this universe is made up of a combination of the atoms of air, water, fire, and earth, which are eternal. But they consider ether as not at all atomic. That is, there is just one ether in this earth. And I believe you know what ether is. Ether is actually a material which is believed to have suffused in the realm of gods. Okay, so ether is just one. It is not atomic. But all the other traits of this universe has the nature of atom. That's why they advocate atomistic pluralism. Okay. Well, when you go through this Nyaya school, we come to know that Nyayas advocate, or they actually come up with many arguments so as to establish the existence of God. And liberation, according to them, is not just a state of happiness, okay, but a complete cessation of pain and suffering. So let us move on to the 4 pramanas which are asserted by the Nyaya school. Let's see how they asserts or considers it as a method to reach valid knowledge. Moving on to perception. So Nyaya school actually takes perception as cognition. That cognition means understanding. A cognition that arises from a sense and object contact. Okay, so all the understanding in the universe that arises out of a sense and object contact comes under perception. For example, if I just look at a snake, okay, so I just see it using my eye, so visual perception is going on. When I look at that snake, and when I understand that it is a snake, that's the way of perception. But of course, there are very many ideas in this world which cannot cognize or understand by the sense and object contact. For example, you just imagine the case of pleasure, the case of pain, the case of God, okay, the concept of God itself. Okay, so how can you classify it under the first category? So they also acknowledge the existence of such ideas in this earth or in this universe too, and they take it as a direct reasoning. Okay, you know pain by yourself. So that comes out of direct reasoning. Okay, so under perception, Nyaya school actually considers both of this. Okay, every cognition which arises out of sense and object contact, and every cognition that arises due to direct reasoning, as in the case of pleasure, pain, and God. Okay, so I hope it's clear. Well, moving on to Laukika kind of perception. Laukika perception occurs when the objects are in contact with the senses in the usual way. And Laukika is again divided into two, Bahya and Manasa. So Bahya means external and Manasa means internal. These are two kinds of Laukika perceptions. Well, so inside Bahya kind of a perception, what happens is the objects are in contact with the external sense organs of a human being. Okay, so what are these external sense organs? Of course, we perceive things using our eyes, using the voice. Okay, using our ear, we smell things out, we taste things, we touch and perceive things out. Okay, and like that. Okay, well, so what happens is in Laukika, just because the object is cognized using external body organs, the resultant perceptions are in the nature of, or in the nature of visual, auditory, tactual, gustatory, and olfactory. Okay, and there is of course the second category of Laukika perception, and it is Manasa. So this Manasa or internal perception. So what happens in Manasa is like this. In Manasa, our mind enters, okay, into different psychic states and processes, and the resultant perception is of course in the form of Manasa. Okay, or internal or mental. Well, and altogether the Laukika actually has 6 categories of such a perceptions, and oh my goodness, we do not have that much of materials to study now. Well, so let us move on to the next category of perception among the first 2 division, that is Alaukika. So Alaukika kind of perception is not at all an ordinary kind of perception, but a cognition or an understanding that we reach in an extraordinary way that can be classified under Alaukika. It means extraordinary. And there are 3 such Alaukika kinds of perception. The first is Samanya Lakshana, the second is Jnana Lakshana, the third is Yogaja. So let us get into detail. Inside Samanya Lakshana, what happens is Nayayikas argue that Samanya Lakshana is the case of universals. Okay, what do you mean by these universals? So they say that we understand these universals through this Samanya Lakshana. So universals means that a class characteristic of anything in this world. Okay, if you just take an example, like you take a cow. Okay, how do you identify a cow? Nayayikas argue that it is all because you have the knowledge about the class characteristics of a cow, that you are able to recognize. You are able to recognize a cow as a cow, and that class characteristic is actually given a name. It's very interesting. The word is cowness. Okay, so we know cowness of a cow, and it is actually by using that we identify a cow as a cow. See, we have not seen all the cows in the world in the past, present, and the future. Then how are we identifying a cow as a cow? It's all because of the knowledge of the class characteristic of that animal. Okay, and this is achieved, or this phenomena is called Samanya Lakshana. Okay, it's of course extraordinary. Well, then moving on to the second in Alaukika. What was that? Yeah, Jnana Lakshana. So what happens in Jnana Lakshana is actually a perception which we can put it like it is a complex association of different sensations. Okay, so we had already discussed about that visual, tactual, olfactory, auditory, and the like. So it's a combination of different sensations. Okay, I will give you an example. For example, see, we often say, looking onto an ice, oh, this ice looks cold. Or looking on to a stone, we make the statement like, oh, this stone looks really hard. Okay, so how is it possible? We actually make such statements, no? So you think about that. How is it possible? Can you literally or accurately measure the coldness of an ice by looking onto that ice? Never, no? We get coldness by the tactile experience, right? If you are touching it, then you can say that whether it is too cold or not. Okay, and similar is the case of a stone too. We have to go for some other means of measuring in order to accurately say whether that rock is actually hard or not. Okay, so this phenomena is called the Jnana Lakshana. So what happens in this process of Jnana Lakshana is when this ice is brought in front of our eyes, our sense, okay, literally our mind actually moves on to a previous tactile experience of the ice. That means that you might have previously touched this ice and have measured how cold it is, or have understood how cold it is. So when you look at an ice in this case, that actual knowledge of the ice is revived inside your memory, and that's why you associate, okay, your visual sense organ with the tactile experience, and you go for making such a kind of a statement. So that kind of a phenomena, okay, is called a Jnana Lakshana. So I hope it's clear. Then the third is Yogaja. And inside Yogaja is again an extraordinary kind of perception. I believe like we can literally comprehend, we can cognize and understand Samanya Lakshana and Jnana Lakshana. Okay, of course Samanya Lakshana is all because of, all on matters of the cowness or class characteristics. And Jnana Lakshana is all a mix-up of sensation, am I correct? And we cognize a particular object like that by reviving a tactile experience or another sensation. Well, but here, this is something, Yogaja is actually a kind of perception which is a bit unbelievable or a bit incredible for human beings anyway, if you believe in science. But anyway, Indian philosophical systems actually believed in all this. Okay, Yogaja is actually the kind of perception which is attained by a sage, okay, or a human being by undergoing rigorous practice of yogic meditation. Okay, and just because of that, he can intuitively and immediately get into each and every object, okay, to its past, present and future. So it's definitely the extraordinary kind, and we will be skeptical about believing in this idea just because we are yet to experience that. So we have studied two types of perception, Laukika and Alaukika. Let us see how this process of perception occurs. Nayayikas believes that perception occurs in two stages. Okay, these stages are called Nirvikalpa and Savikalpa. Nirvikalpa means indeterminate perception, and Savikalpa of course is a determinate kind of perception. Okay, so moving on to Nirvikalpa, what happens in Nirvikalpa kind of or the stage of perception is you are actually looking onto an object, okay, and you looked onto the object and you just have not analyzed what it is, okay, you just have indeterminate knowledge about it, that is you have a raw awareness about the object in front of you. But what happens after a few seconds later, or fraction of a second later, we go on analyzing what is in front of us, and we come upon to a particular judgment or a conclusion about what this object is. Okay, the second stage is called the Savikalpa, when we have literally reached on to a valid judgment or a conclusion. Okay, so as these stages actually occur in our thought, we just can't draw a line between the two, okay, in reality. So that is one point that we have to keep in mind. Okay, these are the stages of thought that is happening inside the brain. So we cannot literally differentiate both these, Nirvikalpa and Savikalpa, by drawing a line between them. And this idea will be more clear if I get you an example. Imagine that you are entering into a movie hall. Okay. So if at all you are entering into the hall from broad daylight, what happens is when you get inside the hall, everything will be dark. Okay. You have some raw impressions of everything inside the hall. But a little while later, what happens is everything inside that theater or movie hall literally starts perceiving. Okay, so you start perceiving all the objects inside the hall, and you can see your people literally gets adjust to it. Am I correct? And we are able to see where are the seats, where is the screen, where if at all people are sitting over there and all. Okay, so these two stages of perception, when you enter the hall, it was darkness and you just had a raw awareness of the surrounding, and just a little while later almost everything is clear. Okay, you have definite judgment about where you are standing. So this case can be taken in order to understand Nirvikalpa and Savikalpa. So the first stage in this example is Nirvikalpa, and second stage is Savikalpa. So we are concluding this session right over here, just because Nyaya school is a bit lengthy, and I think we have to limit this video over here, or else it will be too much of information and I believe you may not be able to follow it. Okay, so I will be doing this Nyaya school in 3 parts. Okay, so in the next part, in the next session, we will be discussing about inference only. Okay, and after that we will discuss about the other two, comparison and testimony. Okay, so I hope it is clear. So please go through the text, and you can WhatsApp me, or you can place it in the comment box if at all you come across with some doubt. Okay, have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you for listening.